Hello, good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us at the Obsidian Theater Festival programming for our Saturday. My name is Saray Daniels, and I am the Arts Education Coordinator for the Obsidian Theater Festival. And we are excited to bring you a couple of people who will be speaking about their college programs as well as their theater organizational programs. The first person that we will be having speak with us today is Ms. Felicia Hines. She is the Artistic Director of Black Theater and Dance Program at Wayne State University, and she also functions as the Professor of Theater and the Dance Department. So we would like to welcome to the stage Ms. Felicia Hines. Hello, Felicia. Can you hear me, Felicia? Excuse us one moment while we figure out these technical difficulties. We'll be right back. Just hold 1 second, please. All right, we have Miss Felicia Hines with us this afternoon. Hello, Felicia, how are you today?
I am great.
Awesome, awesome. So I just did a quick intro of you. Would you like to speak just briefly about your background? How did you get into arts, performing arts instruction, and tell us a little bit about your program at Wayne State?
Oh, did you want me to put my video on? I'm trying to do that and it won't let me.
Sure, give me 1 second. Try it once more.
It's saying unable to start video
And
because
give me 1 moment. Excuse us while we figure out some technical difficulties, everyone. All right. We're having technical difficulties at this time, so we're going to try our best to get the video that Felicia Hines has and show it towards the end of our time with us. But in the meantime, we're just going to talk and chit chat about Wayne State's arts program and their dance and theater program. So good morning, Felicia, or rather good afternoon, depending on where you are. Could you tell us a little bit about yourself and your position and Wayne State's theater program?
Yes, I am assistant chair of the department, and I am artistic director, co-artistic director of the Black Theater and Dance Collective, and then just professor. And within all of that, I am in charge of like a lot of the artistic areas of the Black theater and dance performances that are going on and the initiatives that were taking place. There's a lot of changes going on in the department. Myself and my colleague, Dr. Ross Mikey Courtney, who is a dance professor, both of us are working together to basically to find ways to decolonize the curriculum, to and with the help of our wonderful department, revamp how our department looks. Our wonderful chair, Mary Anderson, is really on top of on wanting to see how we envision ourselves for the future, and in so many ways that many departments in the U.S., many of the PWIs have really been on a standard of the white standard, and we're trying to look at how can we make things more diverse, inclusive, and so then any student from any culture and race can come to our university and feel like they belong within our theater and dance department.
That's amazing. Thank you so much for sharing that. You spoke about decolonizing the curriculum. Could you tell us more about how did you come to that change in pedagogy? And was that always a part of your pedagogy? Did you always have an inkling that this is what you wanted to do with the curriculum at Wayne State, or did you kind of fall into it as you went?
Honestly, when I was hired here like 6.5 years ago, I came into the program where I was in charge. I was director of the Black Theater Program. That's what it was called before. And so I knew that I was going to be in charge of putting on the Black play and teaching the Black theater courses. And then I started delving into, you know, things need to, like, why is it only just the Black students who may desire taking the Black theater courses,
Yeah.
And why is it that, all the other classes are required, the classes that are not dealing with Black theater or anything of focusing on race or culture that, like white is a race and a culture, but anything other than that. And so
Right.
I started delving into that further, and then just having discussions with my colleagues who on the most part are very open-minded, and started to find ways of trying to change that. That's not how I was taught in my curriculum in college.
Yeah.
And so yeah, well, I attended at HBCU, but still it wasn't on that perspective. And then still, like, going to a grad school, it really was not on that. And so it's like, why do you have to go to school and feel, if you are not white, feel disempowered? You should be able to leave a university and feel empowered, feel secure about who you are, in your race, your gender, your sexuality, your religion, all of that, and be able to have a voice in who you are, not who someone is trying to create you to be. And that is what I see that Wayne State is about. It's smack dab in the middle of Detroit. And Detroit is majority of Black city, and it should be more than just white centered. We should have these tough discussions. We should have people should come out feeling like they were a part of a university that was diverse in thinking and inclusive in thought. So that is what we are aiming to do.
Thank you so much for sharing that. That's amazing. And you talked about the kind of this dichotomy between Wayne State being the center of one of the Blackest cities in the country, yet the centralizing of the curriculum was very Eurocentric, right? And it didn't reflect the population. Could you tell us a little bit about how the challenges in decolonizing the curriculum that you may have encountered, or just how easy or difficult it was not to just get white non-Black staff on board with this movement, really, is what you're speaking of, but to also get students on board and realizing that they need diversity in their theater training as well.
Well, in actuality, we had a meeting with the students late last, what was that? 2020, winter of 2020. And they really, white students, Black students, all different races, they want a more diverse training. They want something that is not just white centered. And
Yeah.
so that is not the thing at all. And when you present something to students that is more inclusive, they're open. They
Yeah.
And also at the same time, they're coming into a training program and they're coming to learn. It's so many things they don't know. So it
Yeah.
is our responsibility as the professors of the people who are helping give them this knowledge to be able to at least be aware of the variety of resources that are available. And
Yeah.
so when they leave out, they're not saying, man, I wish I had was taught this or taught this in a different way. That they should receive it right while they're in college.
Yeah, that's amazing, because I think what you're speaking to is making sure that all students, not just our Black students, but all students, white, Black, Hispanic, cisgender, transgender, whatever identities that students identify with, that they're leaving the school fully prepared, and not just with one sliver of theater being a Eurocentric approach to theater, to acting, to dance, but to diversify students and give them really a toolbox to make sure that no matter where they find themselves, that they're ready to operate, they're ready to work, they're ready to function. They can do a Shakespeare play as quickly as they could do The Lion King, touring or on Broadway, and so making sure that that students are equipped, I think, is so important. What would you say is one of the things that, or a list of things that the Wayne State Theater Department looks for in freshmen who are coming in and auditioning for the program?
Well, when they're coming in, we want them to be energetic, have a passion for this art, for theater or dance, to be open to learning different methods and different styles, and have some type of piece ready to show us for their audition. And that doesn't have to be a traditional style monologue from, an August Wilson play or something. It could
Right.
it could be a poem. It could be something that they found in some a different book within literature. And they come together and perform that and create this piece that they find, that they feel passionate into bringing to us, that is more important than having this, the traditional old, here's a monologue from Shakespeare, and and this is what it is, and blah blah blah. That is that has become outdated. Let's find different modes of being able to bring students in so then they can feel like they have a voice. Yes, they need to know. We are, of course, going to teach them scripted material. They need to know that. They need to know all the different types of styles of plays and different areas. But also, they need to be able to be flexible and being able to use that, and being creative in creating their own piece, and being creative into seeing different ways of creating a piece. Not just what we see on Broadway. I feel that universities should be the generators of creativity, not Broadway, because Broadway is where, like, you've already arrived and gotten there, and so, but while you're learning, that should be the generation of the place that generates these new ideas, because hey, if they don't work, you're okay, because it's a university. And so why not? We shouldn't be copycats. We should be the ones who bring about change and bring about innovation.
You talked about innovation. You talked about the need for students to be flexible, being open, and the first thing you mentioned was being energetic. And so what I'm hearing you say is that Wayne State is really just expecting students to be themselves and to come in with their, of course, with their foundational knowledge of acting and technique and dance technique. But more than that, you're looking for moldable students. You're looking for students who are willing to grow and willing to learn. And what would you say, in addition to that, you talked about writing. And so what would you say is the benefit for students who are actors and dancers, but also adding writing instruction and writing classes on into their experience at Wayne State? Do you have any comment to that of like what could students gain from expanding not even just their physical performing skill set, but also their writing skill set?
Well, that is so important. Nowadays, you see so many people who end up famous or end up um, um, creating their careers from a YouTube TV show or for something that
Hmm.
they have generated themselves. And so
Yeah,
you can't just wait on that phone call. You can't
yeah,
wait on someone else to do it for you. You have to go after it yourselves. So being
yeah.
able to write and being able to create these ideas, and this is not saying that you have to come in and be a playwright. No, but you
Right.
have to come in with ideas
Mhm.
and having the desire to create. We're starting in the fall, working with students with devising shows. So the
Mhm.
first year students, and it's a company that we call Company Fresh, they will be
Yeah.
devising shows and grouping up in ensembles with the other first year students and creating pieces with themes that we're bringing about, and even within musical theater, using like certain songs or certain original compositions or whatnot to create
Mhm.
the dialogue, and finding different modes to create. So then it's not one, so then we can they can start being able to use themselves, because sometimes when you have just a scripted material, it's
Mhm.
they're stepping into someone else. But why not have them step into themselves and really understand themselves more and finding their voice?
Mhm.
And this allows everyone to be involved and to have a sense of belonging. So like right when you step into our university freshman year, you're going to be in a class called Fundamentals of Theater,
Mhm.
and all the freshmen are together, and by the end of the school year you're going to generate your a piece of work with your other classmates. And
Mhm.
so before,
Wow.
students did not have many students did not perform in their first year, but this will be able to give them that opportunity to be able to perform their first year and to really get to know their other classmates, the other freshman students, but also they will be able to end up knowing a lot of the upperclassmen and to feel part of the department.
That's awesome. That's amazing. Thank you for that. I think it's so we can be so short-sighted sometimes, not in colleges necessarily, but as artists in pigeonholing ourselves to one skill set or another when the industry has completely changed.
Mhm.
YouTube changed everything, Vine changed everything, and even just in blogging, like people are micro bloggers now and they're full-fledged performers and making a good money doing it, and so to be able to show students that you're not just your value and your worth is not just in what you can do and what you can add to someone else's piece, but the value really is in you. It's you are literally the exact thing that you need to move forward in your career, and not waiting on that phone call as you stated. And I think that's a really powerful concept because I think a lot of colleges tend to try to keep uh, a pedagogy that's really outdated,
Mhm.
and focused really on the academia. We have this really buttoned up idea about what theater is and what dance is and what expression is, right? But the industry has said that we don't want that anymore. The industry has updated itself and it turns over so quickly that I think it's so important, as you just stated, to make sure that the students, all students, students of color, students who are white and who may not have been exposed to August Wilson or other Black playwrights before them entering your program, it's so important to make sure that they have all of the tools necessary to create whatever path they want, whether that's Broadway or being on YouTube and becoming an Issa Rae and being picked up by ABC, and HBO to create your own television series because you're just that good, right? And so could you tell us a little bit about, what distinguishes Wayne State? What makes Wayne State special? What's the special sauce that Wayne State has that that other students may not get elsewhere in terms of a theater program and an acting program?
Well, one thing I think that's really helpful is just one location. It's right smack dab in Midtown. And then we are close by so many different art museums and different theaters and whatnot. And so they can be like, if you're living on campus, you're right there, or living in an apartment nearby, you are surrounded by so much culture. And so you're right there within the city and being able to gain so much from that. So not only with the university, you're gaining so much by being in that area and being surrounded by that, and being a student within our department, it opens you up to so many other opportunities. Like for instance, last semester, some of the students had an opportunity to perform with MOT, the Michigan Opera Theater. And they were doing a socially distanced performance and they needed extra performers. And then they asked, our theater and dance students to if any of those students were available, and some of the students were available and they wanted to do that. And so it opened up opportunities for them to be involved. And we're able to get so many different professional theaters around, theater companies like dance and opera and straight theater and whatnot, to ask us, because we're right smack dab in that area. Within the department, you're able to, it's I say a medium-sized department, but it is so, we're so much like a community, so much like a family. We make sure we have a wonderful learning community. And that's the program for the first and second year students. And the advisor of that, we have a wonderful advisor, James Fortune, who makes sure that when the students are coming in, that they already have a connection with peer mentors from the department that are keeping in touch with you, asking what's going on. Do you need some tutoring? Do you need some help? Yeah. And there for you. So then when you come in, you feel like you have a sense of belonging and that you're not lost. And that helps. And then within the department with the programs, there's so many opportunities. We have Motor City Cabaret that's led by Jill Dion, and just and the wonderful things that she has to offer with Danielle Wright, who helps with the voice. So then you're able to get like some wonderful voice training and dance training with our wonderful dance department. Also, we have so many dance reps that are offered. We have Tosengana, which is an African dance company. We have modern dance companies, Dance Company One, and a dance rep for upperclassmen. And so whatever the different things that you may have a desire to do, we have that. And we have, like, I direct Freedom Players, which is a social justice theater ensemble where we focus on social justice issues. So it's so many different areas. We started a student advocacy council. So then that's a place where the students, they talk about certain issues that's in the department, and they bring about they talk about and discuss the change that's needed in the department. And then, in turn, we come in and listen to them and find ways that we can be able to make that change happen. Now, some things don't, but a lot of things do. We have that discussion, and it's an open discussion. So you feel like you're involved and you have a part within this department. And that's very important. You having that voice and being able to be about that change and being able to voice some issues that you may have. And that's very important for a student.
That's amazing. I hear you saying that what distinguishes Wayne State from, some other colleges is that you view your students not necessarily just as students, but as partners, and that their voices are just as important as the instructional staff, as the deans, as the administrators that are making the college run and function. And I think that's so important, as you just listed, to make, especially in an arts program, right? Acting, dance, playwriting. It's so important, I think, to see your students as partners and not just subordinates,
Yeah.
because that's going to disadvantage them in the long run, I think. But to really give that agency to students to be able to choose what it is that they're learning, I think that takes their experience to an entirely different realm and an entirely brand new level that is definitely going to prepare them for their future. So
Yeah.
we're getting ready to wrap up a little bit for your part, Belicia. Again, thank you so much for being with us. I have one more question for you. Let's say I want to give you a scenario. So there will be not just high school students and college students viewing this panel, but there will be little boys and girls who are middle school and even younger. And they may be saying to themselves, well, college is so far away. I think I kind of like acting. I don't know, but I don't, even if I did want to do that, I don't know where to get started. What would you say to those little boys and girls who have a piqued interest in the arts, but they don't know where to start?
Well, if you have an interest, I say start now. What, even if you are a member of a church, start performing in those church plays. If you want to go further, ask your mom and dad if you can talk to some of the professors at any other university. Of course I want you to come to Wayne, but I want, if you have a desire and you don't know how to hone in on it, ask somebody and ask your parents to connect with them, because so many people, I can say I am, no matter if you are in middle school and you have an interest, I can, let you know some things or whatnot, or something to look into or anything, or just, talk to you for a little bit. That, my big thing is that for you to stay inspired. So,
Yeah.
so start now, where at whatever age you are, start now, because I know when I was little, I started from the beginning. I was asking if I could be involved in the local college, in my hometown. So,
Wow.
so
Yeah.
it's never too early.
Yeah.
Start with whatever you can. Start creating your own plays. Start,
Yeah.
getting your other cousins together and creating a piece. I did that too, and so that helps you. And so whatever you can do, start it now.
That's awesome. Thank you so much, Felicia, for your time. And I completely agree with you. It is never too early and it's never too late. Start now.
Yes.
Thank you, Felicia. It's been a
Thank you.
pleasure. Enjoy the rest of your day.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Of course, you're welcome. Again, welcome everyone to the Obsidian Theater Festival. My name is Saray Daniels, and I'm the Arts Education Coordinator for the program. We are currently in the middle of our pipeline program for Saturdays, and we just finished speaking with Felicia Hines from Wayne State University. She gave so many insights and suggestions for youth and young people to get started, as well as detailing all the offerings that Wayne State has for students, not just in Detroit, Michigan, but all over the country. So we want to again thank her for her time and for her expertise. And so now what we're going to do is call up Red Mountain Theater to the table. We have a treat for you all today, as we always do. We have Keith Cromwell and Bradford Forehand representing Red Mountain Theater in Alabama. If you all could unmute yourselves, and if you want to share your video, go right ahead. If not, you're totally fine. And we'll go ahead and get started.
Good morning. I'm clicking and it says you cannot start your video because the host has stopped it. I'm not sure what that means, but if you want a video,
Yeah.
otherwise,
So I'll go ahead and make sure that we fix that for you, okay?
thank
So
you.
of course. So my apologies, everyone. We're having technical difficulties, but we're going to make sure that we work through it and get you all what you need. So what I'll do, Keith, is I'll go ahead and I'll share it for you, and you can just cue me whenever you want to move on to the next slide. How does that sound?
That's perfect. You can go ahead and just bring up the first slide.
All
I
right.
think it's just a
Thank you.
good placeholder.
Yeah, of course. All right. All right, so I have it here for you. I'm going to share my screen, Keith, and
Great.
then after that, I'm going to mute myself and let you take it from there.
Thank you, Saray.
You're welcome.
That doesn't quite look like what I had hoped it would, but let's carry on. How about we just pop to the next slide? Hopefully the rest of it came through. Yeah, that's fine. So good morning, everybody. First of all, I'm just so thrilled to be a part of such a dynamic idea that's been created by Saray and her colleagues, and kind of want to say good morning, Detroit, and hello, and we're thankful to be a part of this as a theater company from Birmingham, Alabama. As Saray mentioned, my name's Keith Cromwell. I'm the executive director of the Red Mountain Theater Company. I had never set foot in the state of Alabama until 2002. I had a very blessed, fortunate career in New York for almost 20 years. And that performance career ended turning into a director choreographer career that brought me down to Alabama to direct a show. I was only meant to be here for 3 weeks. I ended up taking an interim position to help them find an artistic director. And now 18 years later, I'm still here, and I'll be sharing with you during the presentation our impending opening of a $25 million arts campus in downtown Birmingham. So Red Mountain Theater Company is a two-headed beast of a professional theater organization. And I say that because as you continue to hear who we are, you'll see where we place our emphasis in so many ways directly on the creation of professional theater and the development and education of artists. It's artists of all ages, but primarily we work with ages 6 to 18 in a pre-college conservatory style program that is really an emphasis program on musical theater. So if you could advance to the next slide, I'm going to let my colleague Bradford Forehand, our Director of Education, share with you a little bit more about that. And then hopefully we can share a video with you that is embedded in this PowerPoint, Saray.
Hi, everybody. It's so nice to be here with you all. I echo what Keith said. So our education programs are a major part of the work that we do at Red Mountain. We have a really robust program that involves a lot of different elements of engaging different groups and different partners. We do work in the schools. Our goal is to partner with different schools and to meet their needs, whatever they might be, whether it's using the arts and starting an arts program, or using the arts to teach other elements such as reading or comprehension, or even some science and social studies and math skills. One of the really cool projects we're working on right now is we're developing a student peace and justice initiative where different vignettes will be performed, and then there's discussions to go along with those so that students can talk about peace and justice issues in their classroom. We also offer classes and camps in our new arts campus. We do classes and camps for ages 4 to 18, and there's several different kinds. We do theme camps where students are just having fun living in the world of the story, a story like Hogwarts or Camp Half-Blood or Peter Pan and Neverland. And then we do camps for training the basics of musical theater. And then we also have a stair-step program where students can then move into higher levels of technique training. And one of the big things that we like to do is bring in artists from across the country so that our students have a variety of experiences before they leave Birmingham and go off onto their next journey. This year, we are offering a college prep virtual intensive. We offered it last summer, and it was really great. And so we're offering that again. So if any of you are interested, we'd love for you to sign up. It's for students ages 15 and older, and it's all virtual, so you can join us. We hire college teachers from across the country who will help you prepare for your pre-screen audition, so that by the time you leave that camp, you would have a song, a monologue, and a dance all prepared for your pre-screens. Part of what we do during the years, we also like to bring in artists to do master classes. We've had Jason Robert Brown and Chet Walker, who was the choreographer for the most recent revival of Pippin. Composers Marcy and Zena, who have done a lot of the junior shows. They did Junie B. Jones Jr. and Dear Edwina Jr. And then the picture you're seeing now is some of our performance opportunities for young people. So this past summer, during the pandemic, as everything went virtual, we did a virtual show called The Big 1-0. And we did it totally online through Zoom. We rehearsed it, we performed it. It was a really fun, really exciting time to figure out this new medium. And I think everything went really well. Through that, we were able to learn a lot about teaching virtually. And a lot of the schools here in Birmingham are still doing virtual teaching. And so we've actually developed a professional development program that we can take into schools to help those theater teachers learn some best practices of teaching online. You can go to the next slide. This video is a video about our conservatory program, which, as Keith said, is kind of our highest level of training. These students audition to be in the conservatory, and then they are with us for the full year, rehearsing and learning and preparing for some showcases throughout the year. So let's watch it.
Gonna need to see if we can get volume.
Give me 1 second. Thank you.
Sure, of course.
So while we're working on that, our conservatory students are actually with us for about 500 hours during the course of the school year, because we rehearse every weekend on Sundays and occasionally on Saturdays. Plus, we do our tech weeks where we're prepping for the showcase. So it's a really intensive program for students who want a professional training in musical theater. Not all of our students go on to pursue a career, but all of them want the training as if they are.
Yeah, that's awesome. So I believe I have the sound up, and you guys let me know if it's not playing, but I'm going to go ahead and play that video for you right now.
Red Mountain Theatre Company is really touching so many young people in such a positive way. I wasn't prepared for that, I think. The sheer amount of complexity and diversity in the instruction, in the teaching is amazing. They're doing improv, and they're doing so many different styles of dance, and of course like the acting, but then acting for camera and having an agent speak to them. So that just gives the regular kids who might not have had any experience at all.
Whether someone is pursuing a theater career or not, I think it's a great place. A lot of children find this as a home for them. Maybe they don't fit in their school and stuff, and so I feel like doing theater also is a great connection, building confidence.
To be able to find themselves, and that's one beautiful thing about Red Mountain Theatre Company. It allows the children to be themselves no matter who they are.
They bring someone down as a director and they make connections, like, oh, I really want to pursue this. Or they might even have a love and appreciation of just the art in general.
Red Mountain fosters growth in all areas, and it's a fantastic springboard for these young performers to figure out where they want to head, whether they want to go into musical theater as a performer. Maybe one day they'll want to direct. Maybe one day they'll want to be a choreographer. You know, they're exposed to so many different facets here. And even if you become a supporter of the arts, you're still connected, whether you end up performing on your own or running your own company or coming to see shows. Red Mountain starts that.
So
Thank
that's
you.
just, yeah, thank you so much. That's just a little bit about our education programs and the work that we do in our pipeline from Birmingham to Broadway.
Awesome.
And that's a great transition. Thank you, Bradford, for that setup. You can go ahead and go to the next slide, Saray. The idea of Birmingham to Broadway and Broadway to Birmingham is really something that we hold dear. I think the legacy of any success is held in relationships. And during my time in New York, I was able to work with some really amazing people who continue to come down to Birmingham and share their gifts. Many of them you just heard from, but also, as Bradford mentioned, major composers like Jason Robert Brown, David Friedman, Andrew Lippa, you name it. We've been really able to bring those new and upcoming artists into our kind of neighborhood, into our environment of our theater as we continue to grow. Can you pop back one slide? I'm not sure if we missed one or, nope, you are absolutely on it. Thank you. And one of the things that I really love listening to Valencia talk about is supporting new work. And I'm a board member of the National Alliance for Musical Theater. And that is a great national organization that you might want to take a look at. In it, we support all sort of new work. There's usually a little over 200 plays, musicals that are submitted to the National Alliance, of which we pick 8 to do a fall showcase of each of those shows in New York. From that process, many shows have blossomed forward. Thoroughly Modern Millie, Come From Away, Drowsy Chaperone. I mean, so this is a really exciting opportunity. And in that, I decided when I first came here that it was very clear to me that the stage of Red Mountain Theater Company did not mirror our community. And in blatant words, there was no representation of diversity. And I began a real determined cause to really change the way we were creating theater and listen to our community and reach out and meet our community where they wanted our arts organization to be. So in that, 4 years ago, we started our Human Rights New Works Festival, where we support 4 new work each year that are created around some topic relating to civil or human justice. In the bottom right-hand picture there, that's a story called, oh gosh, she changed the title and now I'm losing it. Bradford, do you remember? Anyway, it was about a transgender 8-year-old, and it was really powerful and beautiful. And if you think about our opportunities to put shows like this on stage in perhaps what you might think of as the unlikely place of Birmingham, Alabama, we're really starting to find great opportunities to support these new work. Sometimes our support of that new work goes on to a level of us producing on Broadway. We're currently represented, well, I should say, when Broadway comes back, we are represented in the production of Moulin Rouge. We were one of the Tony Award winning producers for Once on This Island's revival. And we were deeply invested in Jason Robert Brown's Bridges to Madison County. So you can move to the next slide. Thank you. And so now a little bit about what's happening, because this is pretty outrageous in the middle of COVID. $25 million arts campus is opening. And so the next slide sort of, will show you where we are. We can probably move through these pretty quick, right? Go ahead.
Yeah, sure.
So this is the entire project. It's 60,000 square feet. And earlier when I told you where we really put our emphasis, we want to walk our talk. The purple area is all education, and the red and light blue and dark blue are all production. So we're supporting the art and we're emphasizing both lanes of education behind and in front of the curtain. You can go forward. I showed you this one more time because now you can see what it looks like today. Boing, next slide. It's so exciting. Like we move into our administrative wing end of next week, which is kind of crazy.
Nice. Congratulations to you all.
Thank you. So the next slide, I think it shows you the rendering of our lobbies and our entrance.
Mm-hmm.
And
Wow.
then yeah, it's so pretty. It's a block through. So we go from 3rd Avenue to 2nd Avenue. And that's the status of our lobby. And that's actually a little bit old from a production or construction perspective. We're really moving on. Next, you'll see some of the renderings of our magnificent rehearsal spaces. We have 2 huge rooms and then 3 other educational classrooms. This will be our theater. It's a 450 seat proscenium style theater, but it also has the capability to transform as you see the tables and chairs, more cabaret style down in the front in this image. The stage can be transformed into 9 different configurations. So yes, it's so cool. So let's talk about kind of the elephant in the room, right? So we've all been kind of shut down. This national epidemic, the pandemic has brought our art worldwide to its knees. So we're in the process of trying to figure out how to recover. So through this, we had to cancel all of our productions. We had to furlough 65% of our full-time staff. We were at 24 and we had to cull down to about 8. Our education programming moved to virtual format. And then we began to try to be creative and do arts drive-ins with collaborating with other agencies. As Bradford mentioned earlier, we did some of our playmaking and musicals. We did behind the scenes interviews, and we were just trying to do everything we could to stay in front of our constituents. And now as we sort of move to the next slide about coming out of COVID, our plan is exciting. It's rolling forward. We have all of our staff back from furlough completely, which is very exciting. And we're in the process of actually hiring multiple new full-time staff. So please, if you're in, yes, isn't that awesome? So
it is awesome.
Yes. So please go to our website. We're looking for the production side and the administrative side of the theater industry. We're currently planning some really safe, soft opening events beginning in April, where we'll have distanced seating in the auditorium. So we'll have different concerts, and we're moving forward with the same concept with safe educational programming. Again, let's all get back in the room together starting in April. June 18th, I'm really excited about this idea of a theater opening for our times. We're going to have about 100 people each evening, and we're going to break that group down into traveling pods of about 12. And
wow, that's very innovative.
Yeah, and we're going to use the idea of an immersive theatrical experience so that when your pod is called, you'll move to the educational lobby where your tour will begin, and you'll go to the Discovery Center where there's a performance. You go to another rehearsal room where there'll be tap dancing from 42nd Street. We're going to the vintage car in the scene shop and do Grease Lightning. We're going to go to our recording studio and have the trio from Dreamgirls as if they're recording an album. We're going to go into the administrative suite and perform to 9 to 5. We're going to come back to the stage, and rather than do any set pieces, we'll have that ghost light in the middle of the stage. And up in the scaffolding of our fly tower, Maria will be there, and Tony will come up from the orchestra pit singing Tonight. And that beautiful duet will finish, and we'll open the curtain on our conservatory children who'll be safely distanced out in the audience. So the audience is now on stage, and we're watching our young people sing back to us. So I'm super pumped. Isn't that cool?
That's not just cool. I think that is, I mean, I said the word innovative, but I don't think that does it quite justice, because like you're right. You talked about, the arts being completely shut down. You use the exact terms, the pandemic bringing us all to our knees. You know, we thrive on in-person interaction. And so creating basically a live theatrical museum is basically what it sounds like you did, which, you know, we have live museums like here and there, but not to this scale, not for theater, at least not that I've seen. And I just think that it's so amazing how innovative you guys have been able to be, and how creative, you know, and collaborative that you guys have been able to be to accomplish this. Because obviously one person agreeing with themselves can't get that done, you know. So it speaks to your unity and like-mindedness and dedication to your vision. So congratulations.
Thank you so much for that. And I'm going to borrow several of your phrases. I love a living musical theater museum, which is really very much what the tour is like. And I couldn't agree more. One person's good idea can't typically get it done. You have to get some bandwidth of support to generate through. So hopefully this will bridge us to opening our first season with our Holiday Spectacular, which is a show that we put together every year. Every year when it's over, I say, oh, Lord, don't do that to me again, because it's so hard, but it's fun. We write a lot of material that's very topical and Birmingham related. And then we'll move into our season is currently slated to be Once on This Island, Once, Kinky Boots, and Cinderella. And again, if you want to be put on our casting notice email, just send your picture and resume to info@redmountaintheater.org. It's right there on your screen. And we look forward to hearing from you and helping you advance your career by utilizing the offerings that Red Mountain Theater Company has to share. I think the last thing I want to say, again, going back to something that Valencia said, is even in this time of COVID, the idea of artists creating their own work is so critical and so important. This getting into the education of theater, the market has become totally saturated. And it's exciting that so many people want to look at the arts as a career path. It's exciting, but also there's a reality to the numbers of people that are pressing into this industry, which makes the reality of creating your own material even more important. And sometimes an example of a success is a great way to bring that forth. So Jordan Fisher is an alumni of our program. We found Jordan when he was 10 years old in an outreach that we do. We see 17,000 kids in our area schools every year in 70 unique zip codes. And I don't know if you know Jordan. Jordan was in Rent, the televised musical of Rent. He was playing Dear Evan Hansen right before the show closed. He was in Hamilton. He's done tons of Disney movies. But the ingenuity here is he is a big gamer. That's what he loves. And so he's the spokesperson for a major gaming company. And that has really been a professional bridge for him through this. And another example of that is Abigail Barlow. I don't know if you guys watch, oh shoot, I knew I was gonna do it. It's like
Bridgerton, Bridgerton.
Thank you, Bridgerton. But Abigail is a writer, and she's the young lady who blew TikTok up with writing a musical, writing songs based on Bridgerton. And now she's in conversations with Shonda Rhimes, and she's a writer. She's out creating her own work. So I just give you those as examples of inspiration to just follow your heart, follow your art, follow your dream, and press into them. Don't wait for someone to give you something, go grab it. So I'm gonna turn it over to you, Saray.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Keith and Bradford. I mean, I'm so full. I'm so full from speaking with the both of you and speaking with Felicia. And I'm sure that our viewers are so appreciative as well. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you for being here. I want to leave with just one or two questions that I have to pose for you on behalf of our students, college or otherwise, who will be watching. What advice would you give to the high school and college students who would like to join a theater company, whether yours or one in their area, but they may be struggling with confidence, or they may be unsure about their past experiences, and if they may not measure up what advice would you give those individuals who just need that confidence boost to get out there and take that risk?
Bradford, I'm going to do my answer you've heard before, and then you can do an answer that I may have heard you say before. I'm really going to date myself here, but for me, I had to really learn how to quiet those voices in my head that led to any lack of confidence. So what I say is I press eject and I take the cassette. Do you know what a cassette is? Out,
yes, I do.
out of my boombox. Now I'm even really more dated. And I run that thing over with a car because those voices have no place in my success. And I have to replace those voices of doubt, and I have to show up and be in the room and participate. And if you just do that and try to quiet those voices that are telling you you're not worthy enough, you'll win.
Awesome.
Yeah,
Thank you.
I would totally echo what Keith said. I would also say, just do it. And that is a lot easier said than done. But I think more often than not, we surprise ourselves. And so just the act of putting yourself out there for the first time starts to break down the wall and the fear of being able to do it. And you never know what the people on the other side of the table are looking for. We had a woman come in for an open call for Dreamgirls who had never done anything before. We had never seen her. She came, she sang, and I was not at the audition, but all I heard the next day in the office was, "We found our Effie. We found our Effie. This is the woman." She sang and there was no one else. And this woman she did not have experience. There was a lot of training that we did through that production process, and she did a wonderful job. So you never know what the people on the other side of the table are looking for. You just have to come in, be yourself, and keep trying.
That amazing actress's name is Tracy Winbourne, and not only did she kill it, incredible thing happened when Jennifer Holliday caught wind of her performance and happened to be in Atlanta and decided to drive over to Birmingham and sat in the 5th row watching Tracy do her first theatrical performance, and she killed it. It was magnificent.
I would have died of joy and then come back to life and then died again. That's amazing. Thank you for sharing those tidbits in terms of confidence and artists. Just, I appreciate, Keith, your extended metaphor of that cassette tape that you play in your car of doubt. Just take it out, put it on the ground, run it over, and don't look back.
It's a new tape.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, get a new tape.
Yeah, get a new tape. Get a new tape and do it. Just get out there and do it. Especially in this industry, there's no gain without risk. So thank you so much, both of you, for your time. Thank you for your availability. Thank you for sharing what you're doing at Red Mountain. Alabama is up and coming in theater. I had a conversation with someone yesterday, and they said that that Alabama's culture and atmosphere is totally shifting, and that theater is all the buzz at this point, that it used to be a all music state, but now the things have turned and the tables have definitely gone in the other direction. And Alabama is saying, we are here for theater now, and we're unapologetic about it. So thank you so much, both of you. Bless you both and have a wonderful day.
Thank you so much. And thank you for what you all are doing. And I look forward to continuing to support your efforts. It's really important. Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you so much. All right. Thank you again. If you are tuning in with us right now, you are tuning into the Obsidian Theater Festival. My name is Saray Daniels, and I am the Arts Education Coordinator for the Obsidian Festival. And right now, in just about a minute, you will see the live show, the live video streamed to you of Mr. Niles Fitch, who is an actor, young actor. You definitely probably have seen him before. He's been in ABC shows and All of Us. is one of his main projects that he's known for. And so we would like for you to stay tuned and look at that video. Thank you. Hello again, everyone. We have reached the conclusion of our programming for today, our pipeline programming. You just saw the world premiere of our interview between our CEO, John Sloan, and Mr. Niles Fitch, who played in This Is Us from NBC. Thank you so much for your time today, and we will be here next week, February 27th, starting at 12 p.m. Eastern. Be sure to tune in. And be sure to keep abreast of what is going on here at the Obsidian Theater Festival. My name again is Saray Daniels, Arts Education Coordinator, and it's good to see you all and have a blessed day.